Well, you know what I'm saying? I understand.
Hello, this is Derek Dextraze. I'm here with Iron Mike Wonyetye. He is the former owner and operator of Thorbeck's West Gym in Goodyear, Arizona. He also is the owner and CEO, was the owner and CEO of Wonyetye Cafe.
Wonyetye's Cafe, yeah.
Wonyetye's Cafe. Mr. Wonyetye has been competing since 1972 in powerlifting events. His achievements, awards since 1972 include 13 American records, 6 national records, 2 world records, 2 world championships, 6 national championships, 14 state championships, and 25 Thorbeck's Arizona State Team Championships. Did I say that wrong?
No, that's good.
No, I said that right. And we're just here with you today. We're going to talk about all the stuff that I just went over. That's a lot of stuff that you have, a lot of championships and records that you've gotten.
Yes, it has. It's been, like 46 years of in the iron game. And to start at the beginning, I started powerlifting in high school in 1972 at Dover High School, class of 72. And we just had our reunion yesterday. 45th reunion and my very first one. I don't know if I'll live long enough to make a second one. But 4 guys in my high school, including me, got together and we started powerlifting. And by January 72, I entered my first powerlifting meet in Nashua, New Hampshire at the YMCA. So after my first experience, it was in my blood, and I pursued powerlifting. I've been lifting in powerlifting in 5 different weight categories: the 123, 132, 148, 165, and 181 pound class.
That is a lot of different classes that you have gone up through the ranks.
Right. And I contribute, the deadlift seemed to come easy to me, and I contributed that to my earlier years since I was in the 8th grade to high school, working on the local farms, baling hay and whatnot. A couple farms that comes to mind is the Denning Farm on Back River Road and the Forrest Emery Farm in Durham, New Hampshire. And in Durham, New Hampshire, the Emery Farm, Forrest Emery was the owner, and he was a stockbroker. He'd go to Boston maybe 4 days a week and then come home. And I'd be working there during the summer months with a former classmate, Daryl Pelletier, and then another student from actually high school kid at the time from another state that come visiting his grandfather, which was Forrest Emery. And I believe his name was David Hill, who owns the farm now and runs it after 40-some years. It's incredible.
Yeah, that's a lot going on, huh?
Yeah, it's quite a bit. And like I said, baling hay helped build up my lower back, where with the proper leverage and strength, I was able to easier lift more weight than other people who might have been struggling with that at the same body weight. So that was the start of my back strength right there. And I like to say one thing. On the farm, there was a foreman there at the time. He was 65 years old, was Alfred Hillman. And we'd go around the fields, baling hay, whatever, and once in a while we'd stop at this little ravine, get off, and through the brushes and so on, and clearing, there would be an ice cold natural spring comes up right there. Even during the summertime, there would be ice on top of it. I mean, it was so cold the frogs wouldn't even go into it. So you would just kind of sweep away the clearing of the water, and it was so clear you could see down into it like a mirror. And there was glass there, and just wash it out and come up with ice cold water. And I still remember to this day. And I don't call it the fountain of youth. For some reason, I call that the fountain of strength. Somehow, I think it helped me along the way.
Did you go swimming in it at all?
No, it was.
Oh, it was just small.
It was just a small hole there.
Okay.
Yeah, it was just bubbling up and stuff. Yeah, a natural spring. That was like like 1970, around that area. Oh, wait, one more thing. Forrest Emery had he raised Siberian Huskies. He had one particular one. It was called Trondike, and I remember it well because the dog was born in the same year as I was, in 1952, and lived to be about 18 years old. And the owner put up a marker at the top of the hill, the driveway, by a big tree in remembrance of his beloved pet. So I just kind of remember that part there. I'm lost.
That's all right. That's all right.
Oh, what was I going to say? After high school, well, during the beginning of high school, somewhere in high school area, in 72, 74, 75 or 6, I was raised as an Army brat. My dad was in the military, and so I was privileged to go on the air base at Pease Air Base, and we used the gym facility, and I trained there for a while, until eventually ran into some guys, and we decided to open up a little gym. It was in Portsmouth, New Hampshire at the time. It was called the Taste of Iron Gym. It was just a little hole in the wall, and a bunch of guys got together, and it was geared towards powerlifting training. So we have people from around, even UNH, others come there and train. And a few of the names there, I'm not going to remember everybody, but the start of it was Frank Lonigan, another teammate, Bob Cody, Mike Roy, Jim DeLucy. I'm going to forget, there's so many others. Mark Keys, and it was just a nice little place. And then after that, we competed in powerlifting meets around the New England area. One more, Rod Berg. See these names just kind of popping up. It seems odd, but
it's funny what you can remember when you start thinking about it, and then you start hearing other names, and then you're like, oh yeah, and this and this and this. I don't want to
forget everybody, but it's gonna happen. And then up to this was up to 78, and then I decided to move to Phoenix, Arizona, after meeting the Thorbeck's coach, Britt Darrell, who came out to actually Nashua, at the Nashua YMCA. I think they held the Teenage National Powerlifting Championships in 1978, and we talked a while, and he said, if you're not doing anything, any plans in the future, why don't you move out to Arizona, and which I did.
So you moved to Arizona in 1978 because you met a coach who said, come on out, and you just up and left Dover, New Hampshire, and
I had like $400 in my pocket on the plane trip. That was it.
No. Hey.
But I wanted to be a part of this team. The camaraderie is what's very important, and the loyalty is hard to come by these days. And like I said, I've been with the powerlifting team from Arizona for over 36 years, longer than I've had wives and pets.
That's a long time, yeah. Hey, that's a very long time. Just so everybody knows, we're actually right here in Dover. We're at Henry Law Park doing the podcast. And as you can probably hear, there's motorcycles going by, there's cars going by. So it might get a little noisy here now and then, but we're outside in downtown Dover. That's what we're going to get.
Yeah, and to reflect on some of my accomplishments, competing in the 148-pound class, I hit a number on deadlift there, which stands out pretty well, was a 606-pound deadlift, one of the highest in the world at the time. And totaled between the squat, the bench, and the deadlift, 1,400 pounds. And later on, I went to the 165-pound class, and I totaled there 1,500 pounds. Those are some of my totals in those weight divisions there.
Now, that's your totals. Now, did you won awards for those, or
right. In order to place first, second, third, and so on, you take your best. You get 3 attempts in each event: the squat, the bench, and the deadlift. And the highest one that you perform that passes the referee's signal gets put on the scoreboard, and they add those all up, and the highest number is how you're placed, down the road, first, second, third, and so on. As far as now, you can still have records and make a record in one of the lifts and not win, because one lift you just might shine pretty much on that one compared to the other ones, But the total is what determines your placing overall.
Okay. So, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. So.
And you picked it up just like that, from throwing hail bays to powerlifting.
Yeah, it's one thing you learned on the farm, besides hard work, was discipline. When it was time to work, you worked, and you were there. You showed up, and no excuses. And so you learned earlier in life about discipline, and because without discipline, you can't teach anybody, you can't coach anyone. It's a waste of time. You got to be able to be disciplined in order to learn from others, and it's what I did. I would learn from others when it came to lifting. I was always on the back, but over the years I've met many powerlifters and so on. And there's a few names when I moved to Arizona. A few names from our Thorbeck's powerlifting team. They're my second family, and there's names on there. I'm not going to remember everybody. Workout partners and Steve Shern, Mike Roy, to mention a few, Marty Einstein, and Coach Britt Darrell and Bob Calvin. So imagine, I've been with them for over 36 years. And that's a family. And a few of the names that moved on to pro sports out of our gym. In the New England area, you might remember him back then. He wrestled sumo. Bruno Sammartino was Billy Graham's superstar. Superstar Billy Graham. His true name is Wayne Coleman from Phoenix, Arizona, and he was a classmate of Britt Darrell, my coach in Phoenix. They grew up together. And another person was John Cole, a powerlifter from Phoenix. He was the first man to ever squat over 900 pounds, like back in 71 and 72, and he weighed only like 262 pounds, around there. Another one was Jack Barnes, world-class powerlifter and world record holder in the 181s, 198-pound class. Mike Roy, incredible 165-pounder with over 680-pound squat. This is all like in the early 80s. Another person came out of there was a strength coach that went on to Virginia Tech at the time, was Dave Passanell. He squatted over 1,000 pounds, I believe, at the '84 Hawaiian Open, and tragically he died in a vehicle accident shortly after a football training day, whatever. He hit a telephone pole and maybe even broke his neck, and the doctor said if it was anything else beside that, he would have survived it. But
yeah.
So yeah.
So, when you first started powerlifting, what was your training schedule like? Did you train every day? Did you train every other day?
I had I didn't have any, as far as knowledge-wise, at the time. For me, around me, I was like the most knowledgeable. Had a couple years under my belt, so it was hard not knowing. But actually, the first 5 years, I only knew what I knew until I ran to other people who knew more about powerlifting than I did, that competed. There's a difference between training and competing. When you compete, that's where you really learn.
Okay.
So a lot of aspects of it, and also a psychological aspect of it when it comes to strategy in powerlifting, and being able to compose yourself, and no matter what goes on around you, if it falls down, that you keep it together and you're focused on what you're there for, and you don't let anything else interrupt that train of thought. That's what makes you a better powerlifter.
Nice. So, we have some administrative positions that you have been in throughout your life.
Right.
And the first one on the list is AAU National Referee.
Right.
What is AAU?
It's the Amateur Athletic Union that represents sports in the United States of various types. And in Arizona, I was also the vice president of AAU sports. I was also a promoter of the powerlifting events in Arizona. Put on quite a few of those. Where are we at now?
Now we're at 1995 High School Powerlifting Championships.
Right, I put on. There was one I put on. It was the largest high school powerlifting meet. What I did, I sent out invitations to all the schools in Arizona, big, small, on the Indian reservations, everywhere, between football players that would never ever play against each other because of the class that they're under, and one school doesn't play another school because they're not up to that league or whatever. And so this was a chance for, let's say, football players to meet other ball players that they would never be able to challenge on the field, but they're able to challenge them in the powerlifting events. And so there were over 500 students at this meet, the high school meet that I put on. And I had coaches from everywhere, and they were just dying to help me. And so I was more like the ringmaster, and I would delegate different duties and so on. And it was the first one like that ever held, because it didn't have any boundaries of districts or schools or anything like that. I made the rules, I was the law, and that was that.
That's
Yeah.
pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Over 500 people showed up. That's just
For high school kids, yeah.
That's crazy. That's a lot. That's a lot of going on. That's
Yeah. We had the whole gymnasium. We had like 4 or 5 station platforms. So it'd be 4 or 5 squat racks all set up, and then afterwards 4 or 5 benches, and then 4 or 5 deadlifts. So we had this continuous going on, and 3 referees at each platform. So that's quite a few people.
So it wasn't the same referees.
No,
refereeing.
Each one had 3. Whether they get through all those people.
Yeah.
How many hours would that take?
Yeah. Was it just one day, or was it?
Yeah, one day. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
So did it narrow it down afterwards? Like it went through, and then it was just whoever got the best score won the whole thing?
Well, the way it goes, you're in your own division and weight class.
Okay.
So, and so everybody runs through the squats first. Well, squats get all done. Then all the bench presses get all done. And then it goes down to the deadlifts. And once you're in the deadlifts, that's going to finally determine your total, where you're placing with the other two, how high when you add them all up.
Okay.
First, second, third, and so on,
Okay.
But
Now, once they place, do they go in those top? Is it the top 3 or top 5, or is it top 10?
They won't know until their names are called, but it depends how the awards. Sometimes the awards will go out to maybe top 5.
So it's just one and done. You don't get to, it doesn't place. You don't place like top 10, and then they do it again.
No.
So it's just one and done. So you get up there, you do your one, and
your best squat gets registered.
How many squats do you get to do?
You get 3 attempts.
3 attempts.
You get your best squat gets registered. Then when it comes to bench pressing, your best bench gets registered, and then your deadlift. And you add that all up, that gives you a certain number.
Okay.
And in order, they place those where you rank, where you placed in your weight class. If there's 10 guys in that weight class, all of a sudden, there'll be 10 numbers. Okay, you put them in order that they total. They'll place the overall. That's how it works for each weight class.
Okay.
So
all right.
the
That makes sense.
132s compete against 132s, 148s against 148s, and so on. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. So it was men and women. So it's pretty good. Yeah.
So just to get out there, the powerlifting isn't like what you see at like the circus with the guy that comes out with the little white and red striped shirt, and he's got the little barbell, and he picks it up with one hand, and it says 1,000 pounds on the thing,
and the
he's
guy's bald headed and would have one handlebar muscle.
Yep.
Well, I had a picture of me like that before, so that was me. So, but no, it's if you're in the sport, in the iron game, if you're competing, then that's your world. You know what's going on. Outside of it, local media and so on, they don't report on a lot of these events and stuff. Powerlifting it's an enduring sport. It's not something you can pick up over the weekend. or people just like they play golf. They play golf through their 90s. Why? Because they enjoy it, regardless if they really excel or not. They enjoy it for themselves. They're not maybe not into it for competition and stuff. You know, that they might have been early years, but later on they do it just for the fun of it. You know, it's relaxing for them. And the same thing with powerlifting. You're into it, at least I am into it, to be the best I can be, and to challenge and be challenged to do my best. That's what drives me. It's not necessarily in it for the fun. The fun comes out of the rewards. That's
okay.
To me. Yeah. It's no fun in feeling all that pain. There's no, there's a lot of pain that comes with it. A lot of injuries over the years. You have lots of them. And 2 steps forward, 1 step back, and just you pick yourself up and you move on.
Yeah.
You strive to hit certain goals in your career, and people go, why are you doing it? What's the purpose? Why are you lifting all that heavy iron? I said, why do people climb Mount Everest? Because it's there. It's just, they do it. There's no guarantee. The thing is, there's no guarantees just because you train hard that your rewards are going to be great, if any. That's just.
Well, it seems like you've gotten quite a few awards over the years.
Yeah, I have.
I read them all off at the beginning.
Yeah. And when I left Arizona, I had hundreds and hundreds of trophies, awards, certificates, and I took the nameplates off of them. And if you looked outside of my home, I had piled boxes of trophies out by the roadside.
Go ahead and turn around. There you go.
Yeah, I had piled boxes of trophies outside by the roadside, be hauled away. I couldn't take them back to New England. That's it. I've had them for all.
Did you take a picture
years.
of all of them?
I did. I had a video of it. I'm like, What is? I mean, just trophies after trophy. It looked like a yard sale.
Yard sale full of trophies, right?
Oh, yeah.
So, out of all your trophies, which one are you the most proudest of?
I think the one that's most memorable is my very first one, and people say that's exactly the one that you really cherish in a way that you'll remember overall. Was my first powerlifting event at New Hampshire State Powerlifting Championships.
So did you keep that trophy?
I think I still got it.
That's the one you decided not to.
I have that and a few of the national world championships. I have a few of those, but everything, and I used to have a little. I kept track of all my meets and stuff, and I lost that one over the years of all the meets that I competed and what I did in each one of them total. It'd be nice to have that in pictures, but I didn't have didn't keep the records of all of that, and lost trail of that.
It's just crazy how much stuff you've actually done.
Yeah.
In your short life.
And then later on through the years, well, like I said, I had opened up my own gym, Thorbeck's West Gym in Goodyear, and somewhere along the line, I was married, and we had a child named Micah Jean Wonyetye, and she grew up in the crib in the gym. And so when people were working, clanging, making noise, she'd be sound asleep. When they'd stop, she'd wake up. Totally opposite. And so she grew up in the gym, around big people. Nothing intimidated her. And when she was 14 years old, I started training her in powerlifting. By the time she was 17, she was a world record holder in a teenage division, and like 17, and she held like a 270-pound deadlift at like 118 pounds, and she competed in 104, 118-pound class, 114-pound class, and 123-pound class. And but the deadlifts came easy to her. I don't know why. Genetics.
It's in the genetics. It's in the genes.
But, I did say one thing. I thank God every day that she didn't grow up looking like me. She grew up looking like her mother. Just a beautiful, beautiful child. I'm just amazed by it. Even my friends go, "How did you ever have such a beautiful child?" Yeah. And then coming back to New England, around 2014. I brought my daughter came with me, and she lives out here now also, and
that's awesome that she decided to come with you. Well, you're a trainer, you're a coach, right? So, I mean, how often do you train now?
Right now it's probably on the average no more 2 to 3 days a week, because the gym that I train at now, which is more of a powerlifting gym, which I'm geared to, is out of Saco, Maine, under Mike Lawrence, called the Northeast Ironworks, and so I travel up there, like 1 or 2 times a week. It's that distance and stuff, do my heavy lifting, so it's not always feasible to go that far, and come home late at night at 9 o'clock at night, and stuff.
Yeah, but you do it because you love it, though,
well,
right?
It's what I've got to do, and the equipment I need is there, and now my powerlifting years I put on the back burners, and I've changed over to doing something else.
All right, well, we'll get to that in a minute. Let's keep talking about your powerlifting stuff. So, we're still back in 1995 with the AAU Junior Olympic Judge.
Right.
So you were a judge at the Junior Olympics.
Championships, right. I was also a judge there. I was a national referee. And so
that's when you were a national referee.
Right.
So what did you have to do as a referee?
Well,
what was one of your...
You have 3 judges on the platform, and so you judge the performance of the lift, that it's done in a manner it passes their inspection. The squat, you have to go below parallel, then come back up at will, and stand erect with your knees locked and hips forward. You can't be hunched over, and then the referee will give you a signal for the squat to racket. He'll say racket and motion you back.
So there's 3 different referees. So is there one head referee that's the one that says it, or?
Right, he commands it, and then you get the 2 side ones. So they put up either they turn on a white or red bulb on a podium, and you have 3 whites and 3 reds. You have to have at least 2 whites for that lift to pass.
Okay.
So that way, not all judges might see an infraction. One might, two of them might not. The angle that they're, especially being on the side, one leg hip might not be low enough, and the person on the other side can see that it's okay because the person's either twisted or favoring one leg, or whatever. It happens.
Now, how did you like being a referee? Was it fun or?
Yeah, it was being a part of growing in the sport, and so you just learned, and you learned everything was measurements. You knew what the measurements and centimeters, what the bench is, all the angles. Everything had to be just right, just like you do track and field, and they measure distance and everything. So everyone has a fair, even start using the right equipment, the same equipment.
Okay.
In the Olympic bars, everything is measured the same way, right?
All right. So now we're moving on to the 1995 Arizona State Junior Olympics 3rd place team coach.
Right. Our Thorbeck's junior team took 3rd at the nationals. So as a team. So
okay, and that included in your 25?
So, right. So right. No, that was, we placed 3rd there as a team in the nationals.
Okay.
Yeah, at our junior team, and then the one with the Arizona State Championships, that was our Arizona Powerlifting State Championships that Thorbeck's gym won at least 25 years as a team.
Wow.
That's what I'm saying.
That's okay. So 25 championship. So there's only one championship a year.
Right.
Oh, so was it in a row or was it?
No. This is all from back. 68. I remember in 1970, somewhere around. We started winning, so we'd win some, lose some.
Okay.
Place. First,
that's still a lot. 25 years.
And I'm telling you, the strategy comes right down to the end where you be placed first or not second by 1 point. Depending on how your teammates place. Yeah. So,
that's amazing.
So that means the strategy here is, let's say, it would take a certain amount on your deadlift, your last lift, to guarantee your first place. but you're capable of doing more to set like a record on the deadlift. Do you take a chance at that and not get it and then play second as a team, or do you take enough to guarantee that you take first place? So basically what I'm saying is you put your own self-interest aside for the team.
Yeah.
That's kind of hard to do sometimes. You know?
Yeah.
That's hard to do. But then sometimes, well, for records, you can get a fourth attempt, but it counts outside your team points. But if you get it'll count separately, you know, which is good sometimes. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
All right, so now we're moving on to 1996, the AAU High School Powerlifting Championships.
That's right. That's the one I spoke about that I put on with over 500 students there.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was, you did it again.
Oh, I did it again. That one.
You did, so, that was 1995 that you did the Powerlifting Championships.
Another one.
But then there was another one, so you did it twice.
I've held the high school, right. I was the director of the high school powerlifting.
How many years, do you know how many years you've?
No, I was, from 94, I think from about 92 to 96 or something like that. I was putting on tournaments and so on.
All right.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so 1996, director of Arizona Special Olympics powerlifting event.
Yeah.
So is that the same thing?
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Right. So, let's see. I lost my focus.
Yeah, no worries. It happens, you know.
Oh, yeah. You know,
So,
but you can leave out some important events. That's the thing. You know.
You know what? There's a lot of stuff to talk about,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of stuff that you have to remember too. Because I mean, this is over how many years?
46.
46 years, and to remember everything that you need to put into one little ball of a podcast is a lot. So we'll have to definitely do another one, and you can get more stuff in. But right now we're in 1997, past 1997. What did you do?
Then I sort of took a hiatus from powerlifting as far as competing. I would train with the guys, but I wasn't competing anymore for some years, for injuries and so on. That's why I said what blow away. That's what happens sometimes. I've had some injuries that take me a year to come back because they were so severe.
And how did you end up getting those injuries?
Well,
can you give us a?
Well, some of them were kidney stone related. It was so bad. You know, I don't want to even get into all that stuff. And a sciatic nerve, where you could barely move your eyeballs. You know,
and that's from powerlifting?
Somehow, yeah.
That's
You know, all of a sudden, one day, I can't move. I can't get out of bed. And
you don't think of getting an injury with your eyes from powerlifting. No, you think like your knees, your back.
You do, but your eye, every muscle you move might trigger that nerve.
Yeah.
And so you're so cautious of it, you don't want to feel that pain. I'll tell you, one time laying in a hospital, getting treated, the nurses came over and said that, well, it's time for your medication. I said, yeah, I can't tolerate this pain, and you got to do something. And they gave me some morphine, and I could swear to you, when they left, as they were leaving the room, I could see angel wings on the back of them because I praised them so much for the relief. I mean, it's torturous to be in pain like that. It would take me 20 minutes to go 5 feet to the bathroom right there.
And that's just from lifting heavy weight?
Well, the pinched sciatic nerve.
Okay.
Yeah, compression on my lower spine. When I was in high school, I was 5'5". I'm 5'3" now. What does that tell you? I've got some areas, no disc, arthritis in my knees, in my fingers, in my shoulders. That's just constant.
And you're still doing it.
And diabetes. Oh yeah. So tingling also in my legs, my feet, all that. So I learned to tolerate a lot of it. It becomes a nuisance. Sometimes it becomes more painful, but I tolerate it. As long as I can move and train, then I'm moving forward. When I can't train and I can't control, I have to get medical attention to do what I can't do. But as far as training my muscles to get back, if it's like a bruise, you can get over it. If it's something more injury that requires medical attention, there's nothing I can do but to get medical attention first.
Yeah.
So, but other people have it a lot worse than I've had. I've seen videos of a man squatting, and as he's squatting and goes to come back up, his leg snaps and folds up in front of him where his foot is on the face.
Oh man.
His toes are facing his chin.
That's the wrong way the foot bends.
Yeah, and not supposed to go that way.
Yeah, no,
And
not one
snap.
bit.
You tear of cartilage. Sometimes what I consider the will and determination and the heart of a man or a woman lifting is sometimes stronger than the tendons in their body, and they tend to tear a cartilage, so on. It's just amazing what happens. The sheer will of completing a lift to a point of passing out. There's so much pressure and blood goes to the head, so once they put it down, sometimes during the deadlift, they just kind of stand up and you can see them there, and they just fall backwards.
Well, there are some videos that I've seen of you lifting on your Facebook, which if people want to go to it, it's Mike Wonyetye.
Right.
And
actually, on YouTube, I have a few training videos. There's like 4 of them. Just go on Iron Mike Wonyetye, and it should be like 4 of them come up.
And Wonyetye is W-O-N-E.
No, Y-E.
Nope. W-O-N-Y-E-T-Y-E.
Correct.
That's how
it's spelled.
So that's how you spell his last name. It's for the viewers the listeners that can't spell that, which I clearly can't even say it, so or read it off the piece of paper.
Sometime when I'm writing it too. Yeah. Well, when people ask me how do you spell it, what's the last one, I gotta start from the beginning and say it through. I just can't jump in.
Yeah. So you can check out his YouTube videos at Iron Mike Wonyetye.
Yeah.
Also on Facebook, Mike Wonyetye.
Right.
There's videos on there that you put on there.
Right.
So one of the videos that I saw that you were lifting, when you go down it was a deadlift, I guess? Is it?
Which one was it?
It's where you just lift it up to your knees and then set it back down.
Was it using Olympic bar, or was it using a trap bar where I got on the side of it and its handles on my side?
No, it was Olympic bar.
Olympic bar.
Olympic bar. When you go to lift it, you do like a couple of pull-ups, like you're pulling, it's like you struggle twice, and then you just man up.
Well, for me, what I do, it's called loading up. I position myself, grab the bar, put my position in the right angle, and what I'm doing, I'm pulling up on the bar, not leaving the ground, but pulling against it like you're doing isometrics, pushing against the wall real hard, and instead of picking it up, I push my feet through the platform, so I'm going the opposite direction.
Okay.
And so the body straightens out. See, you have to comprehend that. It's not like you pulling with the shoulders. You let your arms hang like rope. You put a strong hand grip on it. If you tighten up on the shoulders and stuff, you'll tend to go forward over your toes and come out of form. It makes the lift harder to do, if at all, sometimes. So, and you'll see some people that just go for the bar, grab it, and they viciously just grab and pull it all up. I did that in my early years, so on. But for me, I've gotten a lot stronger at changing some of the things for me. Because some of the other things I used to do sumo deadlift, which I was good at for many, many years, but because of physical problems, I started going conventional, and that was harder for me because I was much more able to deadlift sumo style, have the best form, and they were me to do, like say, deadlift 606 pounds, weighing 148 pounds, and so that was like 28 years ago and so on, and unbelievable. But so I've trained now, changed over to something else.
Okay. And some of the videos you use straps around your wrists.
Right.
So that's a totally legal form of being able to lift it too?
For strongman competition.
Oh, okay. All right. So not powerlifting though.
Right. In competition, you can use straps. In powerlifting, you can train with them, but you can't use them in competition.
Okay.
Different things. But and then also you have the squat suit, a special suit for powerlifting that's made super tight. And you think women wear tight clothes? No, 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 no. Sometimes it takes you 2 people to put you in one of these suits. That's how tight it is, because you can't pull it up. It's so tight.
So what's the point of wearing one of those suits?
Well, it restricts you so much, like in the squat. What it does, it combines the body so tight that it helps you come out of the hole better. You probably lift a good 50, 70 pounds more when you're squatting with a suit on. It all depends. Some people even more.
That's crazy.
Yeah, exactly. The same thing with the bench press. They've come a long way, and some people would do bench press 100 pounds more with the shirt than without it. But they're technicians at this. They're strong to begin with. You can't just put on the gear to someone who doesn't train. It's not, if you don't have it, it's nothing. It's not going to do anything for you.
Yeah.
Nothing's going to change. You have to build up that foundation yourself. That foundation comes through hard work. No one gives you this. This is something you have to achieve on your own. It's you and the challenge of the lift, the squat, bench, or deadlift, and there's no shortcuts. You can't cheat your way to it, and you can't just will it. I want to do it. Well, you got to do it. You got to train.
Yeah.
You just can't show up for a meet and expect to win, and you don't train.
How long did you train for before you went to your first competition?
I think maybe just a couple months in high school. Yeah.
And how'd you do on your first competition?
I don't necessarily remember.
So clearly you didn't place because you don't remember.
Yeah. Well, I did. Oh boy, I'm trying to think.
It was a while ago.
I kind of remember the first lifts. Now I was a 123 pounder. I think I squatted 200 pounds. I benched 125, and I deadlifted 275, missing 300. So that showed me right there the deadlift was coming along pretty good. And that's what enticed me to. Like I said, that came from the back work I did on the farms. Certain things just came easy to me.
Yeah.
So that's what helped me to excel. You find something that you do well in, you continue. So, yeah.
That's awesome. So let's talk about strongman competition, because you brought it up a couple of times. Came up a couple of times.
Yeah. Well,
let's start with what the difference between strongman and powerlifting is, because people think, well, if you're a strongman, you must be able to powerlift,
Vice versa. No, it's put it this way: it's comparing like a sprinter and a long distance runner. They both train with the same equipment, but their competition is totally different. The muscles work totally different. A long distance runner trains himself to run long distance. A sprinter short burst and a short distance. They might use same training equipment and so on, whatever, but a whole different mentality of training. Same thing here. Powerlifting is geared to a certain specific type of lift in competition. Strongman, they can choose different elements in that competition and change them at will, or whatever. They'll have the stones. They'll have a truck pull. They'll have an axle bar press, a tire deadlift. They'll have a mixture of things that you can put together, and that's interesting. And there's a lot of, and in the sport, it's gained a lot of notoriety. And there's a lot of women that compete in strongman, strong women competition nowadays, more than they do in some of the other sports that women compete in, which is interesting. And New Hampshire's got quite a few strong ladies and stuff that would just blow your mind away.
What are there some websites that people can go to for strong that you know of, or any of those that do they just Google powerlifting / or strongman or?
Offhand right now, I just recall the call letters for strongman.
Now, do they have a lot of competitions in New Hampshire?
In New England area, they'll do, yeah. You just Google, like New England strongman meets or strong, and they'll come up, You'll see it on the website. You'll see it.
All right, so you said that you have been training for something different.
Right.
That other than powerlifting,
right.
What is that something different? Well,
I've been training for strongman for a while now, but due to some physical complications. Certain events I wouldn't be able to really compete in. And so I'm just focusing right now on one event. And I've been training for that. I've been using a trap bar and deadlifting, which is, and it can be from different heights. It's from 15 inches or 18 inches height from the floor. And so I've been training with that. And as about 3 weeks ago, I accomplished the first time I deadlifted 800 pounds at like 175 pounds body weight. So,
and you this is I believe I saw this video,
yeah.
which is just incredible because when I watch it, it just makes me cringe and I just want to lay down for an hour after I watch it because I'm like, yep, every bone in my body hurts right now.
Well, let me tell you, I'm pulling so hard with the straps and so on, I can feel my bones on bone on my knee. I have no cartilage left in them. It's bone on bone. Oof. And they creak. But if I'm stable, not moving, not mobile and stuff, I can protect them with wraps and so on. And that's the one thing I got to be really cautious about, because I'll get the knee swelling and the range of motion is limited all of a sudden, you know, in one leg or the other. And so I've got to deal with this on a daily basis and hopefully keep myself from getting injured permanently, put it that way. So, but I want to pursue at least in this very near future to at least put one in the books there as far as competing in a strongman meet. And this will be coming up the New Hampshire Granite State strongman and women competition on July 23rd near Merrimack at the Budweiser Brewery. That'll be next Sunday. And I'm just planning to, well, on the events there, zero out on just about all the events except for one. And at this stage, because of my lack of range of motion, there's one event I will compete in, and that'll be the car deadlift. So, and that'll be in the Masters division, and it'll be repetitious. So the person who can do the most reps with the car wins the event. So
it sounds just like what it means. You're literally picking up a car.
Right. It's the back in the car.
And you said that's the one event that you're going to be doing.
That I'll be doing right there, and I've trained a little bit on it already, and I seem to adapt to that. And like I say, in the Masters division, it'll be all body weight classes against each other. So I'll be the lightest man there for sure, one of the lightest. And even though in your own category, you're competing against everyone else for the placing, no matter what they weigh, how big they are.
Yeah.
You know, so who knows what kind of turnout that'll be. And but what makes it interesting to me is that for me to compete on July 23rd, for them to have the strongman meet, is that nothing happens by chance, I believe. So it happened to luckily fall on my birthday. So why would I not compete on the day of my birthday when I turn 65?
So you'll be 65 years old
on that day,
and you'll be lifting a car.
Right, that's the idea. We'll see. Yeah, right. We'll see how that goes.
Well, there is video of you training
right.
For this event.
Right.
Is it on YouTube or is it just on?
It's on YouTube.
So it's on YouTube.
Yeah.
Iron Mike Wonyetye.
Right. Should be on.
Go check it out. You know, go to YouTube and Google or put his name in, and then all his videos will pop up, and there's training videos and all kinds of different videos for you.
Right.
And that's awesome. Well, happy birthday.
Thank you very much.
So, what is your 65 years old and you're still competing?
I say
what's your goal? You're going to compete until?
Well, I say this. You know, being able to hopefully to avoid injuries, because as you get older, you're prone to a lot more injuries that you normally would heal from a much easier early age. And that's the thing. I can't roll back the years. I mean, my mind's already gone. We know that. Because why am I doing this, right? But it's just a desire to compete, to challenge. It's what keeps you mentally young. Young in a sense that you don't give up. So you never, ever, ever give up. You fight through adversities, all kinds. I'm sure there's stories out there that'll just boggle your mind. People who've had challenges that would just devastate them for the rest of their life, and they don't give up. They find a way around the door, to accomplish the same thing instead of going through the door, So, but barring injuries, I plan to hopefully excel, and my goal is to challenge the world record in the Masters 175-pound class at the 18-inch deadlift, which is at 850 pounds. So.
And you just did 800.
Well, but this is right. But this wasn't legit. This was in the gym. This was not in competition.
Correct.
And it was with this one I did with a track bar, not a regular Olympic bar. Which is different. But still, being able to hit.
What's the difference for the people that don't know?
The Olympic bar is out in front of you, like most people recognize what an Olympic bar looks like.
Just a straight bar with weights on it.
Right, and go down, pick it up, and stand up. But that's from the ground. At 18 inches, it's 18 inches means right somewhere below the knees, at that angle. In Strongman, they have that competition. They either have from the floor, they have a tire deadlift, which is at like 15 inches, and which can be an Olympic bar or on an axle bar. An axle bar is a smooth bar, no gnarling, like a regular 2-inch bar. So if you got really small fingers and small hands, you have a hard time gripping that bar.
Yeah.
So most events, a big man, a tall man, woman have better advantage in strongman than in a short man in a lot of the events, because of just the ability to hoist up the stone at a certain height. For a shorter man, it's be a lot harder than a taller man for the same height. Things like that. Oh yeah.
You don't think it would be a short man's advantage of he only has to lift it so high compared to the tall man? Because obviously you can only stand up so high.
Right. Well, in a deadlift or something like this, there's your height is your height, and you're locked out. That's it. That's how it's That's how it's positioned, not based on a certain height for everybody. No, it's just on base. You stand up erect with it.
Yeah.
And so this is a challenge for me, and I started training for that almost a year ago, and when I came down with an injury, and I did a what's called a silver dollar deadlift. There are these rectangular steel cages that are rectangular shaped boxes on each side of the deadlift bar, and they load those up with weights. It's called a silver dollar deadlift because that's what it started out with years ago in strongman competition. They actually used silver dollars in bags,
Okay.
Put them in there. And at that height, at 18 inches, it was my first time I pulled at. I pulled a 750 pounds, and I was weighing 198 pounds. So during that time, I dropped down my body weight to 175 pounds to try to accomplish to hit something like that again over, which is harder to do. So I'm really fighting against myself. My body wants happier when it's up there, but my diabetes doesn't like it. So
well, you got to work with your body, and
see, some things my daughter would say I'm the most stubborn man she ever knew. I don't know where she gets that idea. But oh my God, yeah. But the drive to want to be able to do the same weights at a lighter body weight is a challenge in itself.
Yeah.
Because the body loses muscle size and so on, and you're still trying to maintain strength and gain strength back. So your leverage changes when your structure changes. It puts your leverage is a little different. You can be a little wobbly in certain angles, And I'll tell you, what doesn't change is the person's desire and pure heart to achieve what they believe they're capable of doing if they're allowed to do it physically. The only thing that holds you back is your can be weak parts of your body. You know, the mind can be strong, and I think the mind is stronger than the body parts. I truly believe that's why you've seen athletes that achieve incredible accomplishments, and in that process they physically hurt themselves. Something happens, but they, you know what I'm saying, they'll go through it. They're willing to almost pay that price to accomplish that goal. Most people aren't going to understand that as long as it was successful, I'll live with the consequences. Yeah. And that's what I've said to myself. But well,
hey, clearly it's worked. Look at all the accomplishments that you've accomplished over the years, and you're still going strong. Right. You know, pun intended. Yeah. So.
Back at the Thornbeck's gym, I hope I didn't leave out with the two coaches were Brick Darrell and Bob Calvin. Okay. So over the years, I mean.
And they're the ones that taught you.
Yeah, they trained me, and they trained. Incredible knowledge, and once a year we have what's called a berserker party at a big lake out in Arizona. We all have a giant picnic out there.
Nice.
A huge, you know, it's just a wonderful thing. We had a guest appearance before, came working out at the gym for a while, and that was former Mr. Universe, Dave Draper, and he came with us to the berserker party, and we put a picnic table out on the lake. People swimming around, look at what's going on here, and all of a sudden some guys start getting on the stage. They start posing, you know. And here was former Mr. Universe, Dave Draper. You know,
that's funny.
So out of nowhere land, you know.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was at Lake Pleasant. You know, it's like unbelievable. Yeah.
So I only have a couple more questions, but one question is we were talking before the podcast and stuff, and. You said that you have to go to specialty gyms because a regular gym doesn't have the equipment that you need. So so basically you're like in somebody's garage, outside in their yard, just picking stuff up, and because that's just what it has to be.
And this is a person's private home, garage, and that's exactly where I train. You know, it reminds me of in one way when my gym back in Arizona, but I rented a old brick building. I mean, it was a very old. It was like a clothing store, you know, like a long time ago. Giant ceilings way up, raft, you know, and just old creaky stuff, you know, like Sawyer Mills, that kind of stuff.
Okay, yeah.
So, but people loved it, and I came there, and people used to say to me, Mike, you know, when I come here to train, you're always happy. I wish I could be as happy as you are doing your job. And these are people that worked at the Polyverde plant. They were highly skilled people. And I said, well, they love the money there, but they don't like their job. See, but I love my job. I didn't have the money, but I love I love what I did. You know, 24/7. That's my life. That's my identity. That's who I am. That's what I am. You know. So and something that most, even close people don't know about me, growing up, I grew up as a military brat in Landshut, Germany. I was born there. My dad was in the military. And I don't even recall this, but there were pictures at the time, didn't see them, your mother had, where growing up, I had steel braces on my legs because I couldn't stand up at an early age. And I don't quite recall it, but things that happened at an early age was my leg would give out and I'd fall over. I didn't know why. And slowly over time they became stronger, but they're delayed in growth with the rest of the body. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I never mentioned that before either.
Well,
because I don't look at then. I look at forward. If you can't go forward, you're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
You know, and I learned that that all started when I started working on the farms, being disciplined and not shirking your duties, something like that.
Yep.
There you go. You know, and having goals. Goals are very important. People, I cannot just live to live. That's not living. Even when I'm turning 65, I don't. That's my mind isn't at 65. I don't know what 65 mind is. But as long as my health is at a normal range, then I can push myself to try to be what I want to be and do the things I want to do. You know, having the money and enough physical capabilities is not gonna help you one bit to accomplish things like that. A lot of people go, well, I'm gonna wait till I retire, then I'm gonna go all over the world. But the time they retire, all of a sudden they can't move well. You know, they can't do this, they can't do that. They can't go tracking through the woods. They can't. All these can'ts. Why? Because they never lived that natural way as part of their life.
Yeah.
They figure you just pick it up when they retire. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
You know, that pipe dream. Maybe for some, but not for most people.
Yeah.
So, but I don't look to see down the road that I had, how my life is going. I'm still doing somewhat small capacity. One of the main reasons I moved back here was my mother was aging, and 2014 I decided, you know what, I'm going to move back to New England, and I'm glad I did. And this last August, my mother turned 90 years old, and August 29th, and October 29th she passed away a month later. But the family was all here. And she did not suffer, as you know, people die in all kinds of things, ways, and tragedies and so on. But she had a fall that, like, for 2 days, 3 days, she laid on the floor. And here's the thing: she did not make a call to one of the kids, her daughter, Janet, Catheus, because she didn't want to wake her up. See, this is how considerate, this is how the mindset was of older people and stuff. Because it was late at night, so she's later, and by that time. Next morning she couldn't roll over to get off the floor, get medication, make a call, and finally my sister called. She said, you know, usually my mother answers the phone and stuff or calls back. There's been no call. She went over there and found her on the floor, and ever since that time things just went downhill. You know, because it caused more problems with her. She had diabetes and everything else too.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and crippling arthritis. I mean, really bad, and where she couldn't live by herself anymore, and you know, and so but we were all together and stuff, and that was a blessed moment at the hospital with the families. It just, there was always somebody there 24/7.
Yeah.
You know, and so that's the main reason I moved back to New England, that I wanted to be here.
And now, for your mother, which is awesome.
Yeah.
So that's a good reason to move back.
Yeah.
So now that she's passed on, do you have plans on moving back to Arizona, or do you want to stay in New England?
I want to stay here. Yeah. It's I love it here. My memory's going back all of a sudden, you know, and then we had my 45th high school reunion last night for Dover High School. You know, from 1972, so there's people I haven't seen since I left 72. Yeah. Oh my God.
And do you remember their names, or were you like, wait, who are you?
Yeah,
wait a minute. You remember me, but I don't know who you are. Yeah.
How'd you pick me out? That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. You changed, got a little bigger, and so but
well, that happens.
Yeah. But yeah, that was nice, and well, interesting. Or the place that when I grew, you know, some of the kids in high school that I went to school with, now I see their names on the buildings that own the place, the businesses and stuff, where they took over from their parents. That's what's funny. Oh yeah, I'm going, I know that name. I went to school with him.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's funny. Speaking of names,
yeah.
How did you get the name Iron Mike? Because obviously we all know Mike Tyson.
Right, sure. Iron Mike is used by a lot of athletes and stuff. And actually, when you go on on YouTube, it'll come up Iron Mike Tyson first, Tyson, and keep on going. And also Iron Mike Wonyetye. You know, that's where it falls in a row.
Well, if they type in Iron Mike Wonyetye, it should pop up first.
Maybe, okay.
And then, but if you just type in Iron Mike, I guess.
Then you scroll down. Yeah. But yeah, one person I forgot to mention, I'm glad you reminded me, was years ago at Thorbeck's, a dad brought in his kid to work out. I think he was like 15 years old. Tall, lanky kid. His size shoes look like 16 or whatever they are. I don't know. They're huge. So I said, this boy might have a future. I don't know in what. But brought him in, start training the kid, and I'll call him that at the time. And this was at Thorbeck's West Gym in Goodyear, Arizona. And this is in the early 90s. And this boy turned out to be a great young powerlifter, teenage champion, and went on, and within this past year, he went over to Strongman a few years ago, became the first American to ever deadlift over 1,000 pounds in Strongman competitions. Yeah, first American, so that's a hell of a title. And I think only 4 men have achieved that so far, over 1,000 pounds, with Jerry Pritchard from Phoenix, Arizona. And so he named me that some years ago.
Okay.
That Iron Mike, I go, yeah, right. Yeah, I would mimic him back about, you say Iron Mike, and I make some comment about, something about not iron, but something else, whatever. Yeah, just you build me, you give me too much credit. Put it that way. But yeah, Jerry Pritchard called me, so I just adopted it.
Nice.
Stuff, so yeah.
Well, I mean, the first American to lift 1,000 pounds. That
incredible.
If he's going to give you the nickname, you might as well take it.
Yeah, I'll take it. Yeah, he's a quite accomplished man. He's in the top 10 in the world's strongest man competitions. You'll see him around. He has incredible strength and gripping strength, which he developed working in his dad's machine shop. Jerry, at 275 pounds, was also driving sprint cars and racing. At 275, at like 6'4", he would stuff him into the driver's seat and then put in the steering wheel after that and be immobile. So if he got into an accident, nothing would give. He would just roll, And but he at 275, he was doing sprint cars, and he quite accomplished in the sheet metal work, and worked at SRP out there, and repairing, building equipment for them and stuff. And recently opened up his own Strongman gym in Phoenix, and so Pritchard Power, and so some strong people have come out from my early days and so on, and to make their own way through the world. So.
Yeah.
And make it into other avenues much faster, which is pretty neat. So
we got all kinds of noises going on. We had a motorcycle go by. We got a helicopter or an airplane going over.
It could be a drone.
We got the church bells going off.
Could be a drone spying on me, see if they learn any lifting techniques.
There you go. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome. So you have a birthday coming up. Right. That's awesome. Happy birthday again. You have your first meet in over a year?
Well,
your first Strongman. So this is your first Strongman.
Period. Yeah, right.
So this is your first Strongman.
Right.
Congratulations. Hopefully it goes well.
Yeah, just do what I accomplished. There are people there that they're incredible that do all the events and so on, and have a much more physical ability than I do, and stuff. It's incredible, and they show incredible strength, and technique, and tenacity, and drive and desire. It's something that everyone has to have in that sport in order to achieve. So you can all relate to each other. You have a commonality between you and stuff. Men and women, doesn't matter. You speak the same language. Put it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is there anything that you want to tell anybody coming up in the sport that's like on the edge, maybe I want to do this, maybe I don't know what I want to do, but I like the idea of powerlifting?
Yeah, it's like if you first venture into powerlifting, try to learn from those who actually compete, so you learn correct lifting as far as competition and technique, so you have less bad habits. Because I'll tell you, people will train you. They call it workouts. See, there's a difference. People work out is different than people who train. People who train for a purpose. They train for competition. There's a difference. Not just working out.
Yeah.
And so, but learn from those who actually compete in the sport. If you want to be a champion, you train with champions. That's it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, this is Iron Mike Wonyetye. Go to his YouTube. Go to his Facebook. Facebook is just Mike Wonyetye again. thanks for coming on and talking with us.
But thank you.
It was wonderful, and we got much more. We're just, this is just going to be the first podcast of many to come, I'm sure.
Okay.
Thank you for coming out to talk to me.
Thank you, Dexter.
Yep. Have a wonderful competition and a wonderful birthday.
Yeah, I'll report back.